What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Wyatt Bagnall.
Taylor Wallerstein.
And today we are here to review a weird week of NFL football where, luckily for you, you didn't make any bets or you would be working some street corner right about now.
Yeah, probably. I'm glad I didn't.
Absolutely. So we're going to start off with the Thursday night game like we usually do and jump right into the weirdness. Atlanta 15, Carolina 25. Thank God we came out and said Atlanta might make the playoffs and they're feisty. Just last week, we really look really smart for
I think
that.
we even said something along like, oh, they're playing Carolina next, so they're good to go.
Yeah, we handed them a win.
Yeah, we handed them a win, and I think Carolina must have hurt us. No, genuinely, this is one of those reasons why it's possible Atlanta doesn't make the playoffs, because they don't show up to games, and they're feisty in games that they have no business being competitive in, and they lose games that should be gimmies to them in a NFC that they potentially could have made a wild card spot in. So
there's not a wild card spot to be had in the South.
no, I'm gonna call it right now, because I said it was possible last week. You're dead in the water, Atlanta. Fuck you.
I committed to Tampa Bay last week, not with my chest, but I did commit to them, and I'm just gonna say it. I feel better about that today than I did then, just because there's one win separating them, and Tampa Bay I think is back at 500 now.
Yeah.
But overall, in terms of takeaways from Atlanta, Carolina, it's really just, the NFC South's kind of a shit show.
Tank Bowl.
It's not even the Tank Bowl. Carolina keeps screwing themselves.
That's true. Yeah, they.
Because I think right now the Texans and the Raiders have the top two picks.
Yeah, Bryce Young was going to Carolina until recently. So what a weird turn of events. It's looking like I guess C.J. Stroud ends up there, but no.
I think if the Raiders have the second overall pick, they'll take one of those two.
They probably have to at this point, because I'm sure Josh wants to bring in a quarterback who he can manipulate into his system.
Listen, I think there's also Derek Carr's had a great run there, but I think it might have run its course. But back to the Panthers, they're playing themselves right out of Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. So we'll see. If I'm them, I'd freaking watch it. You don't need to do this.
I genuinely question what they're doing. Like, is Steve Wilkes that determined to get another head coaching opportunity?
Which I respect that.
Which I mean, not throwing in the towel when you have every opportunity to do it as an interim head coach. I respect it. I think
You know what I'd do at this point?
I don't know if anybody calls for Steve Wilkes to be.
Dude, you know what I would do at this point if I'm Tepper, the owner? Is I'll call him up to my front office and be like, dude, if we just let it go this year, I'll give you another year. Yeah. Stop doing this.
It's like, you stop doing this, I'll give you a legitimate chance next year with a young quarterback, and you can prove to me what you can do.
Exactly. I'll give you a better shot than the Cardinals did.
That man, to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. I would love that.
Well, but overall, weird game. I don't have much more to say about that. That game, I think, is sort of just two teams that aren't really going to matter in about a month.
I don't think they matter now.
No, I still think Atlanta's relevant enough until Tampa Bay pulls away, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tampa Bay, they played in Germany this week against the Seattle Seahawks, where Tampa won 21-16. Thank you, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. That gets me one step further away from that Seahawks jersey, which I appreciate.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bucks won in Germany. It basically was Tampa started hot, Seattle started sluggish, and they just never could quite close the gap from there. Fair enough. I think these are two teams that will be relevant in the end for the NFC. And, hey, good on Tampa for finally getting a goddamn win against a legitimate opponent.
Tom Brady undefeated in 4 separate countries. That is unreal.
Man.
That's a stat.
The only man to win in Germany.
The only man to win in Germany, Tom Brady.
Yeah, there it is.
Good on him.
Exactly. Yeah, again, not a ton about this game. I think the biggest implications of this one were sort of just in other games, where it was like, if Seattle dropped one or Tampa dropped one, Atlanta or San Fran can get a game back on them.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened here, except Atlanta dropped one and San Fran did basically close it on Seattle.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest implication of this one. Tampa got the win. Good on them. Every win counts in the NFC South because you're not going to need too many of them to close the deal on it. So good on them. But I think that we would both like to skip over to this next game, which is the Minnesota Vikings at the Buffalo Bills. Vikings 33, Bills 30. In one of the single craziest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. That was the craziest damn game ever. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I come out of this still thinking the Bills are better than them because in terms of who had to get every single lucky break in the goddamn world for this to happen, it was the Vikings. Yeah. And it just did.
That's a classic Bills heartbreaker.
It's just like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
That was the craziest thing ever. Granted, it doesn't help that they're missing their entire secondary.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's arm is hurt. And all this, like, that stuff does not help. But still, it's like, what the... I still don't know how Justin Jefferson... I don't even want to say he caught that ball. Rather, the other guy caught it, and then as they're going down, he just sort of took it from him.
Yeah.
It was like... first of all, if you're that corner, swat it down. Do not give him a chance to do that. Just hit it away.
Yeah, was it 4th down?
Yeah, it was 4th and 18.
Oh, moron.
Yeah, it was 4th and 18.
Right.
Granted, they still stopped them on that drive.
That's true.
And then all hell broke loose when the snap didn't get to Josh Allen's hands. Or it did barely and they dropped it. I don't even know. That was one of the single craziest fucking games. Oh, God.
Unreal for sure. Minnesota, frankly, stole one, but I mean, they...
But they got it. Listen, it was close either way.
Yeah, it was.
But,
that's the thing is that they were in a position to steal.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I don't even want to say they were. That felt like such that. Listen, there's shooting yourself in the foot, then there's taking a bazooka to your foot, and that is what fumbling up the ball in the end zone is.
That's fair.
Like,
yeah,
that was wild.
I think Buffalo will be fine.
Buffalo needs to get healthy. Buffalo needs their secondary back. Buffalo needs Josh Allen's arm to be healthy. Buffalo needs for the next 2 weeks to find a run game and just rely on that and rely on Josh Allen less.
Yeah.
Because he needs a little bit of time to get right.
Yeah, he's a pitcher who's throwing 100 pitches twice a week right now. Genuinely, I think Nyheim Hines will probably help out with the running game. I do believe in Nyheim Hines. I don't think he's like crazy or anything, but I think I think
the combination of him, James Cook, and Singletary will work.
It's got to work, yeah. And I think you have a real, genuine pass catcher in Nyheim Hines who can, help out, open up that run game a little bit more.
Definitely.
But yeah, they need to get healthy. That entire secondary being hurt does not help.
Literally, all four of the people who they want to be starters were all out.
All out, yeah. And again, they still were in a position to win the game. So
yeah,
I got to give a lot of credit to Buffalo for being as good as they are while being as injured as they are. If by some weird way Miami holds on to the division and Buffalo is a wild card, I think that is the most dangerous wild card.
That poor fucking... Can you imagine the poor bastard that has to host that?
I would hate to be them.
Fuck!
I'd hate to be them.
You better hope you don't imagine you win the AFC North and that's the wild card you draw.
Oh, that's...
You're like, God damn it.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I would love to see them go into Miami in a playoff game.
Dude... That team's fucking dangerous.
No, I mean, I'm talking still...
Buffalo.
Miami.
No, I get
Buffalo, Miami.
I think that game is nasty no matter what.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes down.
I mean, there's a stat that came out which is like, in the games Tua's played, the Dolphins are like far and away the best offense in the NFL. That's nasty.
Yeah.
Like, they're just defined by speed, too. Both their running backs are like 4-3 guys. Both their receivers like 4-2 guys. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, you get gassed and then you lose them. That's basically how it goes down. And there's so many guys to worry about, too. So.
Listen, though, also, just in this game, Justin Jefferson really just decided to be like, I'm just going to catch everything today. There's nothing I am not catching today.
Right after I said,
this is what I was getting to.
I'm really excited that the Vikings are good without having to rely on Justin Jefferson. And then they were like, no, we're still going to rely on Justin Jefferson.
And it worked well.
Yeah, it's just every now and then as opposed to every damn week.
Yeah.
But no. Justin Jefferson proved he is top 5 wide receiver in the league.
He's already there.
I mean, he's already there, but he just keeps continuing.
He put himself firmly in the top 3 of like just pure unstoppables. I mean, this year I'd say he's top 2. Him and Tyreek Hill are like the 2 best this year.
Sure.
But I think in general he's established he's top 3. and that third guy is probably the one that switches.
Yeah.
I don't know who the third guy is, but Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson are the two that's like, yeah, good fucking luck. Everybody else, it's like, this, that, the other. Those two, it's like, at any given moment, there's like, here's 190 yards and 2 touchdowns on your head.
Yeah.
So.
Just a complete stud.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue.
I need Buffalo to get healthy and get their guys.
Yeah.
That's what I really need that from the Bills right now.
It'll happen. It will.
And
I think Josh Allen and the offense is good enough to keep them afloat against some more in a couple of games coming up. That'll keep them, coasting.
They got Cleveland this week. I fully expect.
I expect them to
that.
win that game. And then just let these guys come back and get healthy, and suit up for the big games that matter much more coming down, because they're gonna be able to show up to
the exact game when they're gonna become completely healthy. Bengals. That's gonna be the exact game. Like everyone's back.
Everyone's back, and it's gonna be a win or get eliminated for us. And I'm like,
you're gonna be like, oh, fuck me.
It's like, come on, Joe, let's do this thing.
Yeah. But overall, easily the craziest game of the week. Again, quite proud. I said that this and the Sunday night game would be the 2 games of the week, and I think I pretty much got it. The other ones were pretty kind of lackluster. I mean, other than weird results. But yeah, I think we can move on from that one. Minnesota showed that they're real. I think Buffalo's still better. Buffalo's just hurt, and. They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but lightning struck about 5 different times on that field in Buffalo.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure there was a massive question mark going through a lot of Bills fans' heads when it's just like,
it's like, what?
Okay, we're gonna let that go, but it's still not, we're still gonna stop it. Okay.
What just hit?
Okay, we're still gonna stop it. Like, we stopped it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then. Oh man, it is just
wild.
Yeah, that's a hell of a classic Bills heartbreaker loss. I mean, that's coming from a Bengals fan, so
he knows all about heartbreaker losses.
Where it just inexplicable losses, where it's like everything seems to go wrong. Like, I mean, I watched it happen week 1. Fortunately, it had to happen this week. But if you remember, literally last year there was the Hail Murray. Which just
that was the Bills. Yeah, that was the Bills too.
How does that?
You want to know the difference between that one and this game? That was against that was the Bills' 3 best defensive backs, all standing around DeAndre Hopkins. That was over Jordan. That was over Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yep.
This was crazy too. It's just like fucking. How much bad luck can you get in a game?
Yep.
But hey, good for the Vikings. They were there and they took advantage.
I mean, tied with the Eagles for the NFC lead minus the tiebreaker.
I was about to say, unfortunately, their one loss is the Eagles.
Yep.
So moving on to Detroit at Chicago. Lions 31, Chicago 30. I mean, great. Good. Okay.
Sure
Lions got a win. Good on them. I think this also further went down. I think this goes another one in the category of Justin Fields will have another year. And just for the love of God, get the man something to throw to. And because he's having to do crazy running things right now. And they're scoring, but you'd rather he not have to constantly be put in that position. That's really all I take away from this. 2 bad teams that are going at it. Lions won, sure. But the Bears are finding a way to score high 20s to 30s pretty consistently right now, which is at the very least, it is a sign of progress for the Bears.
Sure.
So there's that. That's really all I have on this game.
I think same thing here. I mean, good on Detroit for getting a win. I think if you're telling me that Justin Fields has arrived, I think you're too early to the party. I'm not convinced just yet. When you have one guy, when you have the best athlete on your field being a quarterback, typically that's what's going to happen. I mean, 160 yards against the Lions does not inspire me. Again, I'm very aware of the fact that he's throwing to a bunch of D2 nobodies. But also at the same time, I mean, I'm not convinced fully on Justin Fields. Will he get another year? Totally. He's playing. He's being an athlete.
Can we say? I want to hear you say he's earned it instead of just he'll get one. Say he's earned another year.
I would say he'll get one. I could have earned another year.
No, you could not.
Absolutely
not on that. On that team, the fuck you could.
Oh, if I had the athletic ability to do what he's doing, I'd be doing it. He's got every opportunity to run, which because
there's nothing else.
Because they don't have any rushers.
Okay, great. So it's all on him, and they're scoring high 20s to 30s every game. What?
I think if you ask him to reliably go and win games when he can't do that kind of stuff, then you end up seeing I guarantee you.
You end up seeing basically everybody else.
I'm just saying. I think he ends up falling off. There's not enough on that team for me to think that he's gonna stick with it.
If he was on the Jets, would they be better or worse than they are right now?
The Jets?
Yeah,
would be better
if you
or
were to
worse?
switch him and Zach Wilson, 2 guys from last year, because the Jets have more pieces.
The Jets.
Who do you think looks better if it was this year right now? Justin Fields or Zach Wilson on the Jets?
Zach Wilson.
You're just being defiant.
He's hurt.
You're not even meaning it.
He's
I can
hurt.
see that fucking glint in your eye. You're like,
He's
I'm just
hurt.
going down with the ship on this.
He's hurt.
He's not.
He's getting back to full health.
Shut
It was a
up.
serious injury that he had that very well could have been
Breaking his
season-ending.
cough in your mom.
My mom's a nice lady.
And anyone's mom. Everyone's probably.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not convinced. I think it's just backyard football that he's allowed to be playing right now, which is allowing him to just do whatever he wants.
Whatever, dude. Give
I
the
think-
man credit for taking a woebegone talent group and scoring 30 points a
and
game.
losing to the fucking Lions. Okay, I'll give him credit. Great job, Justin. Good job. I could lose to the Lions.
Yeah, you would lose to the Bears.
Absolutely not.
Yes, you would.
There's nobody on that team. I could absolutely throw 300.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, absolutely.
So dumb. I'm not saying he's elite or anything here, but I'm saying don't give him what might be the 32nd ranked receiving group, and I think we'll get a much more reasonable evaluation. Because right now he basically just looks like how Lamar Jackson looked, which is good fucking luck tackling him if he gets moving.
Fair enough, but I also would agree that Lamar Jackson, for the past 4 years since he's been in the league, has resulted in the worst receiving core in the league for 4 years straight, PFF ranking.
Difference is
what I will say is I don't think Chase Claypool is that much of a bum to a point where he can't obviously.
Is he number one
on that team?
Is he a number one? Would you want him as a number one?
No.
Okay then.
But I'm not going to sit here and act like he doesn't have at least a couple of weapons on there. Cole Kmet.
So we've said that the Jags have shit weapons. So do the Bears.
Yeah, I agree.
They do not have an answer anywhere.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have athletes on there. A smart coach is able to get them open. They don't have that. They don't have an offensively minded coach.
But I don't think that's necessary if you just completely understand who to hire, and I'm not sure the Bears do either. In terms of an offensive coordinator.
Seeing as I literally cannot name any of the Bears coaches recently except for John Fox.
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, I still can't say that name.
Mark Trestman.
Oof, Mark Trestman.
Vic Fan. Oh no, that was the Broncos. He was the
yeah.
defensive coordinator in Chicago. Who the fuck was just there?
I know his name.
Okay.
It's coming to my it's right on the tip of my tongue. What's his fucking name? It was the fucking Chiefs offensive coordinator.
Nagy.
Yeah, Matt Nagy. There it is. I knew it was Matt, but I was like, it's not Matt Floyd.
No.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah, well, I don't want to talk about the Bears or the Lions anymore. All I'm saying is we've seen enough flashes from Justin Fields where the Bears can use their draft pick and just take the best damn receiver available.
And then next year they can get another quarterback.
Yeah. All right. Denver at Tennessee. Denver 10, Tennessee 17.
You wanna hear
Another
an
sort
awesome
of
stat?
low, grounded out. I already know what you're going to say. You posted a meme about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I just thought of if we can't think of a good Ravens jersey for you to buy if the Bengals miss the playoffs, you're gonna buy a Broncos Russell Wilson jersey.
I'd rather kill him. I'd much rather.
Just so you know, if we don't come up with a Ravens jersey that hurts you enough, we're gonna get you a Russell Wilson Broncos jersey that you're gonna have to wear.
That was not part of the deal.
I'm just telling you.
I'd much rather burn my entire house down and start from scratch than ever do that again.
I'm just letting you know.
Oh, absolutely not.
That number 3 looks good.
I have 2 number 3 jerseys.
Yeah, and this will be be your big one.
I'm not getting a third.
Yes, you are.
No, genuinely, this is my favorite stat of the week. If the Broncos score 18 points in all of their games, they are 8-1. That's how elite their defense has been.
Mm.
In 2021, the Broncos averaged 20 points a game with Drew Lock. So, fuck you. I win. I think I'm done. I think I got my closure with the Drew Lock shit today.
That 20 points a game gave you your closure?
I'm absolutely right that if you just surround the right pieces for Drew Lock, he could absolutely be a guy.
How do we know that? We haven't seen
The proof's right there in the stat dog.
Okay.
Genuinely, Russell Wilson, first of all.
If you surround him with an elite defense, which they did, and
half his team was injured his rookie year. Or his second year.
The
He got injured.
The man can't even start in Seattle.
Oh, shut up. It was a hit job. Everybody knows that. They wanted Geno Smith the whole time.
Clearly, there was a good reason
Drew Lock
for
never
it.
got practice reps
There was
with the
apparently
ones.
a good reason for it.
Drew Lock
Geno
never
Smith is
got
out
practice
there.
reps with the ones.
Geno Smith's out there looking way better than Drew Lock ever did.
Ugh, whatever. I think Drew Lock would be just fine. He's going to get his chance.
He'll probably be with the Colts next year.
Oh, good God. I would not wish that on anybody.
Why? They won.
The Colts are in a blow-up mode for sure. What do you do if you're the Colts right now?
First move, trade DeForest Buckner back to the 49ers.
Okay, unbiased. What do you do?
That. And then what I do is say who are like the absolutely essential people. Let's have that conversation when we get to the Colts. We'll get there soon.
Cool.
But overall, Tennessee, Denver, yeah, big surprise. Tennessee won that game. This is the exact type of game Tennessee likes to play. Keep you close, make sure that they can still run on you, and then just pound you out. It's the exact same thing they're going to do to Green Bay on Thursday.
Yep.
So it's this is just the perfect game for the Titans. The Titans are like, yeah, they can have a great defense. That's totally cool because we are all good just hanging out in a close game, and they did, and they closed it. Cool.
A great defense keeps a team under 20 points, in my opinion.
Yep.
Especially in the NFL, consistently does that.
You should win.
But, yeah, Tennessee has no problem with being kept under 20 because they're going to keep Denver's terrible offense under 13.
Well, they also have this uncanny ability, even with like dynamic offenses like Kansas City, of they're going to limit your possessions just by the sheer duration of the time that they're going to hold on to that damn ball. It doesn't matter if they score; you're going to get limited touches, and you're going to get cold on offense.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of how Tennessee beats you.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think they're gonna kick Green Bay in the nuts this week. But
yeah, I don't know how Green Bay gets away with a win.
Granted, I didn't think Green Bay was gonna get one this week either. But this was again just a weird results week.
I think we underestimated just how much Aaron Rodgers hates Mike McCarthy.
I think we underestimated just. I don't even know what the fuck we underestimated. That game was just completely. If you gave me that game 9 more times, hit 10 more times, I will literally pick Dallas all 9 of them. Like, there is no reason that they would ever like beat them more than once. But hey, they hit the one, so
that's all that matters.
Exactly, yeah. But I don't even have a ton of explanations for that game. It's like, okay, sure. It's like, sure, what? Have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was like, yeah, sort of par for the course. I picked Tennessee, sort of in this type of low-scoring, slug-it-out game. Tennessee is way better at landing the body shots than other teams and playing in these type of grinded-out games, and it showed. So
absolutely,
that's how it is. On to a real stunner. Jacksonville at Kansas City. Jags 17, Kansas City 27. The Chiefs were determined to give the Jags an early lead with, first of all, kudos to the Jags for we're just going to open this bitch up on a surprise onside kick and recover it.
I'm going to go for it.
So it's like, listen, when you understand that you're worse, just do it. There's no reason
to. Deep it, yeah, why the hell not?
And they didn't score there, then the Chiefs fumble, in the red zone, and nothing really comes of it, then all of a sudden Kansas City pulls away. Shocker. Not a ton to be said here. I just sort of appreciate the balls of the Jags to be like, we're just going to fucking admit that we need help and steal a possession.
A year ago, they had no direction, and then this year it's like, we're going to go into Kansas City and we're going to try this fucking shit just because we're going to do whatever it takes to potentially try and kill a juggernaut.
Yeah. David went in against Goliath.
Yeah.
But this time fairy tales aren't real. So.
Yeah, exactly. David had an inkling that he would win and fought like it, and I gotta respect that, even though it didn't happen.
Even though Goliath.
Even though it was one step and
bat.
over after that. But yeah, no, basically, again, I think it's just, again, a telltale sign of things in Jacksonville are a lot more positive than they were a year ago. Doesn't mean...
The positive sign was Trevor Lawrence actually played well in this game. The difference was the Jags are just not ready to take on a team like Kansas City. Kansas City, they are firmly in their championship window. The Jags are trying to just find a way to push it up a little bit and open it. So I mean, this was just a matter of this was never in doubt. I mean, Kansas City is one of those teams this year that it's like they're gonna get knocked off if they mess up.
Yeah.
Or if they're playing some elite other team. It's not going to happen often where a team like Jacksonville manages to get them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to the Jags for just being
They didn't lose
bold.
27-3.
Yeah.
And they were bold and they gave a shit.
Yeah. Kudos to them for giving them their best shot. Jacksonville's best shot just isn't it right now, so it's fine.
I can respect that.
Up next, Cleveland at Miami. Cleveland 17, Miami 39. Dude, there is something about the Dolphins. I said this before the year because I was high on them before this year. I was like, that team could be it this year. They are looking real problematic to deal with.
Tua's a system quarterback.
Doesn't fucking matter when he's plugged into that system and they're the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah, I think they'll get figured out.
By what?
Someone.
Who?
Buffalo, fucking Kansas City.
Fucking Buffalo.
Buffalo again. Buffalo third time. Kansas City.
Kansas City's defense ain't the thing that's going to figure somebody out.
Well, here's the thing. I think Patrick Mahomes finds a way to just put points on the board.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the answer to this is, okay, listen, they're probably going to go down and shoot out, but...
Yeah, I think it's a shootout, and Kansas City with Andy Reid are going to be able to find ways to put points on the board.
Your other system quarterback.
The other system quarterback in the league, absolutely. Oddly enough, I will give credit to Tennessee. I think Tennessee's one of those shocker teams that could potentially pop them in the mouth.
Oh, Tennessee's that team that nobody's going to want to play, because they're just weird.
They're just weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's genuinely a high-flying offense like this versus a run game heavy ground and pound team that sounds like a trap. I would say Baltimore has a chance, and I'd say Cincinnati also has a chance.
You are so optimistic with that one.
We already did it.
Yeah, okay, that was one of those games where he did not play.
He did play, and then he died.
Shut up! They're so firm. They are so firmly above you guys.
It is a system quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater came in and made that team still look effective.
Stop.
Effective.
They are so definitively above you guys right now. Listen, they made your weapons look bad by comparison. Fucking Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are we're just gonna both of us just get 100 yards every week. Those running backs are fast, too. Listen, they got that 49ers run scheme, too, and they got it with two of those fast backs from the 49ers. And it's it shows.
Who dey?
Who dey is currently out of the playoffs.
Who dey is on a bye.
Yeah, for now. No, I mean, all I'm saying is, dude, Miami is... I would not want to cross them at this point. I mean, listen, I think no matter who wins the AFC East, whether or not Miami holds on and does it, or Buffalo gets back, which I tend to think is what's going to happen, even if that's what happens, Miami's still that wild card team where you're I'd probably rather let someone else try that one first.
Sure.
I mean, of all the AFC wild card teams, potentially, it's that's the one that's probably going to knock you off. I mean, I think the Jets could get there, and that's cool. It's a great story, but that's probably it, right?
Yeah.
New England, I don't think is getting there. Chargers, it's all about health, and you guys tend to not do it. And then Bengals, it's sort of real hot and cold. Miami's only of those wild card teams or expected wild card teams where it's they literally have not lost in games that Tua has started and finished, and they're the best offense in the league in those games. That's not ideal.
Yeah.
He does not like these numbers.
I ain't scared.
You ain't scared? All right, you might not have to see them again.
I've never been scared. And, I'm not going to have to see them again because we're going to lose both of them. And I'm going to be dope.
You're like, thank you, Buffalo.
Thank you, Buffalo. We'll go knock out the Chiefs for you. Then we'll go have a
Then
nice,
we all have
fun
beers.
game and have some beers afterwards, and whoever wins, wins.
Yeah, there you go. I don't think Buffalo wants anyone to knock out the Chiefs. I think they want them. If like the Bills got to pick, they'd be like, you, come here.
Assuming they're healthy. As of right now, if I'm Buffalo,
Yeah.
I'd much rather prefer Cincy.
Oh.
No disrespect to my own team.
No, yeah, but there's a difference in like consistent danger between Chiefs and Bengals right now. No,
Exactly.
totally.
Yeah.
I still think Buffalo, when healthy, is like, come on then,
Absolutely.
let's go. But yeah, if they're like a little up and down and injured, they'd probably be like, Miami or Cincy, go fucking one of you two can go shoot out them.
Yeah, go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Listen, I think that if you're talking about Kansas City or Miami or Buffalo, one of those three teams are going to have to lose in a shootout because you're going to have a really hard time stopping them consistently.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, Miami, I think that they just sort of further like stomping or like stamping their mark as like, you're not going to stop us, and like, I mean, Cleveland, good luck. Good luck anyways. But Miami's showing it a lot now against teams where it's like, you can pick your poison, but literally every other poison is like death instantly. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to stop Tyreek Hill. Okay, fine. Jalen Waddle will just go off. We're going to try to stop both of them somehow. Fine, we'll just run it on your ass. Enjoy it. These backs run 4-3. Smiles.
Jeff Wilson did great for my fantasy team this week, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I bet he did.
I knew he was gonna do fine.
From one 49er scheme to the other
I
one.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about this.
I mean, there's a reason that the Dolphins and 49ers sort of swap players a little bit in this offseason. It's because they all fit. So,
100%.
yeah. But, I mean, listen, Miami, I think Mike McDaniels was a really smart hire. He's, like, immediately... I mean, the speed at which he turned that team around is an indictment on Brian Flores. Literally one offseason. Really, the biggest change in this team is just that you brought in Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying the speed that he turned it around on is like almost unfair. It's like you bring Tyreek Hill onto any roster.
So Tua
offense is going to be insane.
So Tua goes from everybody thinking he's awful to him being like one of the top.
Again, I cannot stress this enough, bro. How do you look bad in an offense like that? Tell me right now. Tell me how.
Ask the guy wearing number 10 in red and gold.
No, because the number 10 in red and gold didn't have Tyreek Hill. Oh, Tyreek Hill's triple covered. Perfect. I have Jalen Waddle on a slant. Who's so
great.
fast. It's 40 yards now.
Looks great.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is a joke. Like, it's a Madden roster.
This is his Madden roster.
That is when you literally have your friends in a Madden franchise league, and there is no trade limit, and you just go to fucking town. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to have C-Mac. I'm also going to have Tyreek Hill. I'm going to have Justin Jefferson. I'm going to have George Kittle. And I'm going to have fucking Tom Brady on that roster.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude.
As of right now, which team's weapons would you rather have, Cincy's or Miami's?
I'd rather have Cincy's, but that's because I'm completely biased.
Yeah.
I think
You're like, it's because the argument is reasonable, and I'm a Bengals fan.
The argument is reasonable because in my opinion, I'd rather have a physical guy and a speed guy so that you can take advantage of the defense. And if this defense is fucking good, like, and can stick with your guys, it can stick with your speed guy, it can stick with your route runner guy.
Which one's sticking with those speed guys?
I'm
actually curious. Like, can we think of a defense where you're like, I think you'll do all right? And this is from somebody who's like
Buffalo healthy.
I'm so curious about when
Baltimore-
Tre'Davious White comes back.
Baltimore probably just because they have. Here's the thing. I think you beat Tua by putting pressure on him, and that Baltimore defensive line and the people who can get to the quarterback are enough to make Tua have to think. Tua is getting away with a lot right now, and granted, he's playing well.
He's going to continue to get away with a
and
lot. That's that whole
And
system.
he's going to get away with a lot, but Mike McDaniel has created an offense that lets him think less, get the ball to playmakers, and just be smart with the ball. And any quarterback's going to succeed in that.
Yep. I mean, listen. Like I said, I think huge amount of credit to Mike McDaniel. There's a lot of pieces there that you had to make mix correctly that we've seen a lot of coaches have opportunities with, but it doesn't mix well, and it doesn't do this and it doesn't do that. he's got that thing humming
Yep.
on his first shot at it, and it's like, all right, dude, good on you.
Yeah,
So,
you got the locker room to buy in, which is huge.
yeah, that little nerdy dude is just
That
like,
little
and
fucking
everyone's just like, that dude. I still love the quotes that Tyreek Hill's had about. He's like, that guy needs a wheelbarrow to haul his balls around in. We're just like, it's fair.
Hey, granted, again, I don't want to take anything away from Mike McDaniel. In fact, I'm giving it all to Mike McDaniel. Like, dude, you have made a fantastic offense that not only is great at running the ball when your quarterback is having to think too much and it can't do that, you have a run game who can bail him out. Now, again, I don't want to sit here and say Tua's playing bad football and getting bailed out. That's not the case. But again, he's specifically being asked to make 1 to 2 reads. That's why Mike Gesicki's getting no catches, because he's a talented football player. He was doing well in the offense that they had last year, which is why a lot of people were, big on him to take another step, and why people were so interested in making a trade for him in the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So I think you have there's a reason we don't hear about the other wide receivers on Miami.
You don't need to.
It's run game. It's a run game option 1 or 2, or it's pass game option 1 or 2. That is a very simple offense, and simple offenses get figured out. Do they get extended periods of time to work with elite talent? Absolutely, they do. That's how simple works.
That offense is not getting figured out this year.
They're not winning a Super Bowl.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl.
So they get figured out.
I don't think the offense is figured out. I think they're going to go down to like a 41-39 game.
I think they get figured out because there are multiple games where Baltimore had them figured out.
Okay,
Let it go.
Here's my official prediction for the Dolphins season. They're going to be the top wild card spot. They will win the first game they play in the playoffs, and they'll lose in the divisional round to either Kansas City or depends. I guess Kansas City and Buffalo can play each other. If Kansas City and Buffalo play each other, they'll go to the AFC Championship game and lose. They'll lose whenever they run into the Cincy Buffalo types. That's when it ends.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be my guess. I think Baltimore and them are on a similar level. Baltimore could off them, but
See,
I think I think that Baltimore is like, if we're like putting them in tiers, Miami and Baltimore are like hanging out with each other.
I disagree. I think Baltimore is it's got more seasoning to it.
Of course they do.
So obviously they're going to know what they're doing, especially they've already played.
But if you're looking for the team that was like yours last year, where they just showed up on the scene, Miami's similar.
Yeah, completely.
So it's
they've got weapons, and nobody really knows how to stop them. Right?
Yeah, so that's what. So I'm saying that Miami's the team where it's like, if I'm looking at somebody to just like play spoiler in the AFC, it's Miami.
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, we're gonna move on from that. We spent enough time there. On to such an interesting game: the Houston Texans at the New York Giants. Giants 24, Texans 16. Shocker, the Giants won. They're definitely going to the playoffs. They're 7-2.
Yeah, it's over.
It's
over. They're going playoffs. Yeah.
Like at some point, we could do the whole they could drop games. They cannot drop enough games to completely miss the NFC playoffs. So I feel the Giants will be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the playoffs, especially with how the NFC wildcard dance is kind of shaking up to be.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit closer of a game, or a little less closer of a game than the scores really proving. Houston 16, Giants 24. Game was over within the first couple of quarters.
Yep.
But Houston, snappy, very feisty. For some reason, playing for Lovie Smith.
I don't know what they're playing for, guys.
I was like, shout out Davis Dougie Mills for fighting for a chance to lose his job and doing everything in his power to look good while also losing games so that they can replace him. It's definitely the Giants' position to lose at this point, and I don't think they lose it.
No,
it's really tough to. Daboll has done an incredible job creating it.
They did the exact thing you guys were supposed to do, which is just like run the cupcake games.
Yep.
So by the time you reach the games where you're like, it gets a little dicey, they just have such a cushion. Like 7-2, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, they can now absolutely lose to the Eagles. They can absolutely lose to the Cowboys. They can absolutely lose to any other team that they're actually playing that's decent. I don't know what their schedule looks like, so I can't really pull that out of my ass. But genuinely, good on him. Good on Dable. I think that's kind of hard to argue with results, and the numbers speak for themselves. I think if given an opportunity, they'll find some way to bring in a quarterback who Dayball likes. But I think the biggest thing they're really missing right now is offensive pieces.
Wide receivers.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard is
Had a hell of a play this weekend.
But
those are few and far between.
Exactly. I was like, the plays that he makes are not every week, which is an issue. Moved on from Kadarius Toney, who they took pretty early, very recently.
Thanks for giving him to the Chiefs.
Yeah, shout out you guys for just being complete asshats and
Thanks
doing
for
that.
being dicks about it.
That's fucking awesome. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, give them more weapons. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a team that didn't have enough guys, I think.
No,
yeah.
what'd they get for it? It was not a high round pick.
Late pick, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like you didn't even get anything. You're like, yeah, here you go, Chief.
I'd be like, listen, we'll give him to you for Travis Kelce, nothing less.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. No, genuinely, they have room to grow exponentially still, but winning with room to grow is hard to do in this league, and it's a great first start for Daboll. I don't think they win a playoff game. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
I think for them it's going to be totally matchup based.
Yeah, it depends on who they.
Do they draw the NFC South team? Because then it's a maybe.
Yeah, it's like maybe the Giants come in and stun Tampa. That'd be nuts. Maybe the Giants.
Feels unlikely.
Maybe the Giants on a second chance against Seattle get it this time.
I don't think that they're going to have a chance to play Seattle.
No, I don't think so either.
At least I'm hoping.
No,
Otherwise, it's going to cost me money.
I really.
And a whole lot of pride. What did I do to you?
What do you think? Don't act like you're innocent in this.
I am. Completely.
But I think you get an opportunity. I think they're going to have to pay Saquon based on how he's playing. We'll see though. It could be an interesting scenario for them. You shouldn't really pay running backs, in my opinion. But who else are you going to pay? Because you're probably going to be drafting a wide receiver. Maybe you bring in Derek Carr as the Giants. But
maybe.
But I really don't know. And but to be just completely transparent, I like them.
Yeah.
I think they're too interesting to watch.
I think there's a chance that we got both New York teams in the playoffs. When was the last time that shit happened?
All three. Even though.
Oh yeah, the New York City teams. Well, technically the two New Jersey teams
they play
and
Jersey.
The one New York team. No, but yeah, yeah, great. Houston lost. Shocker.
Yeah, big surprise.
New Orleans at Pittsburgh. New Orleans 10, Pittsburgh 20. Coming into that Bengals game with some momentum.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, no, I don't know. This was a weird one.
Kenny picks it.
Again, we're back on like just the roller coaster games of the Saints are on one week, off the other, and the Saints were off this week. Cool, life goes on. I don't really know. I don't think much of either of these two teams right now.
Yeah, no, I don't really have anything to say other than New Orleans looks terrible.
Other than Bengals trap game.
Not again.
You're like I don't even think it's a trap game anymore.
We already had it.
You're like, can we not be? Are we not done with the trap games?
This is like seeing the trap from 10 miles away and be like, we got time before we pull off. Like
it's a trap with a neon sign.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if we don't learn our lesson, I think that'll. Zach Taylor had a quote out today where the rest of our seasons our destiny is in our hands, and that's absolutely true. We need to be winning these games that we should be winning, and we've got some games against playoff teams that will really show who we are. So, and potential playoff teams in the Chargers and a couple of the other teams that we're playing.
God, I would have felt so much better about you guys if you this late half was the half that you needed to be able to take your lumps in.
We're okay. I believe in Joe Burr.
Okay.
I think we go up to 6-4 against Pittsburgh, and then
I have picked you against Pittsburgh.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you.
Yeah, I know. I went out on a limb with that one.
I know you're really picking the underdog. But
I did. I was like, God, this is tough.
Oh my God.
Again, like I said though, if they lose to Pittsburgh, I'm like sizing out that jersey for you. Because you're not gonna be able to if you lose to Pittsburgh again, it's like all right.
I got faith.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not going to be wearing a Ravens jersey by the end of the year.
Maybe it'll be a Broncos one.
It will not. That is not the rule. That is cruel and unusual punishment.
It's meant to be. Dude, I think your reaction to this means we need to make an adjustment here.
No, I will you do not understand. Like, I detest the
I know.
Russell Wilson jersey so much.
Ooh.
I will not do it.
Dude,
I will
I'm
not
feeling
do it.
this.
I will. No, you should. Had you brought it up last week when we made that bet?
Dude, he's not even a man of the
100%.
people, dude. The people would want to see you suffer.
Yeah, well, the people can see me suffer by just watching me live my life daily. Like, they don't need to add on a little fucking sprinkles to the
Yeah,
cake
they do.
that is my fucking terrible
Oh,
life.
yeah, they do.
Ugh. Absolutely not. Had you brought it up
What a
last
pussy,
week,
dude.
Had you brought it up last week, sure, we could have had that conversation.
All right, we'll get
But
one.
we shook hands.
We'll get one more beer in them and then readdress it.
Absolutely not. Takes more than 2 beers for me to make life-altering decisions.
That's life-altering for you?
Yes, that is
Interesting.
going to heaven and handing them my halo and saying, I don't deserve
Yeah,
this.
when this conversation came up, when I was talking to some people, I was like, yeah, me and Taylor made this bet. And they were just like, oh, that feels way worse for you. Because he's sort of just like, somebody was just like, give him that. He'll just become a Ravens fan. And I was...
Because you're talking to fucking Chase.
No.
No, because Chase would say that. Cause
He would, though.
their favorite joke is,
Your bandwagon.
I'm like, I picked it.
What- this is why-
I handed in
This is
3
why I had to
rings.
tell you.
I handed in 3 fucking rings.
This is why I'm
for zero.
exactly. You're gonna try to pick up 2 more with that purple and gold.
Absolutely not.
But
I've
they
hated
were
the Ravens
just
since
they were
2012.
they were just like he hasn't liked the Bengals long enough for that to really count. He'll just switch again. You should make him get a Russell Wilson jersey. I was like, oh,
You're talking to John then.
that was one of the people I was talking to.
Because John knows I hate Russell.
I was talking to a few people about this, but yeah, they were just like, yeah, he'll just switch teams.
Absolutely not. Nah, sitting
Like
there.
all of a sudden, he'll really like the feel of that purple and gold.
Oh, absolutely not. I hate it. I've hated them since 2012, since the Flacco days.
I really hated them in 2012.
You and me both. We both lost playoff games to them.
Yeah.
Yours just matter a little bit more.
Mine was just,
That was rude.
the playoff game. But okay, we're gonna get back on track here. With
Fuck you, Russell.
with a game that
I hope your wife is getting railed by Future right now.
probably by Zach Wilson. All right, on to a game that honestly is kind of funny. Indianapolis at Las Vegas. Colts win 25-20. Listen, not great for the Raiders.
Not great. Not great.
Ideal. Honestly, I'm kind of happy that the Colts did this, just because everyone was bitching about Jeff Saturday being hired and all that. I'm like, listen, it doesn't make much sense, but at the same time, I understand it from the idea of this was somebody who was a staple of the Colts during their like great years, and there is a difference of like, yeah, he was a high school coach. But if he hadn't played center in the NFL for like 15 years and had no concept of what NFL football is, I think it's even worse.
Yeah.
It still doesn't make a ton of sense. But I also understand for an interim coach, like, let's bring in somebody who knows what we want the Colts organization to be. And there's 2 types of head coaches. There are the head coaches that are like Kyle Shanahan, like Andy Reid, like Bill Belichick, that are super hands-on and like are going to call the plays, are going to do all this. Then there's other coaches that really are more culture guys and leaders and CEOs that just designate well. And I think that this could work in that capacity.
Sure.
Not to mention everybody went in on like the whole race thing of it. And at that point I was like, God, I just hope it works just because I don't know. It's the least interesting aspect of this hire.
Yeah.
It's like the race
wow.
element.
I didn't even
They just brought it up on every sports show ever.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, that's the least interesting part of this. I just hope he wins now.
Look, it's a very simple reason on to why they brought him in. Like as you said before, he's a staple of of the Colts franchise. Like there are pictures. There are the pictures of the Jeff Saturday, Peyton Manning stuff.
Yes.
There is the Pro Bowl moment where Jeff Saturday was playing for the Green Bay
Packers his last year,
and they still did the Pro Bowl. Like one final snap from Saturday to Peyton. Like it is what's the word I'm looking for? An icon of Colts legendary players is Jeff Saturday. So, when you're in a position like this idiot Irsay is in, like I'm not a fan of Irsay in the slightest, genuinely have never liked the guy. I think he's an idiot. He's too hands-on as an owner, and he doesn't know football.
He's been hands off till the last 2 years.
He's still too hands-on because, again, hands off, but literally forcing Carson Wentz to be traded out when it wasn't his fault.
Like I said, to the last 2 years, because he's used to what the Colts have been.
And I get that.
Which, by the way, on some level, I respect his level of impatience. Of he does not want them to be bad.
It's an iconic franchise who deserves more than what they've gotten in previous years. I mean, one ring with Payton seems a little. Someone fucked up.
Yeah, and then he sees luck get wasted.
And then luck gets wasted, and then this new team, I'm going to be honest, I'm very much of the mentality of this new team has wasted so much potential by not bringing in proper players to really capitalize on the talent that they have. So I totally understand as an owner where he's coming from. I also understand that I understand the Joe Thomas rant of there are people who don't see their kids for 9 months out of the year, spend maybe one afternoon a weekend with them as an NFL coach because you are investing your entire life into this profession and you get passed over for a drinking buddy in people's eyes. So I can understand that argument. However, here's officially where I come from as somebody who's had bosses, has seen blow-ups, and where this all comes from. When you're watching a catastrophic failure happen, take your fantasy team for an example, specifically yours because you're falling apart.
I don't even update my lineups anymore.
Exactly. Listen to that. So, think about it this way. You're watching a catastrophic failure. Are you willing to trust anybody who has been a part of that catastrophic failure at all when you are sick, tired, and fed up of catastrophic failure? Probably not. I'm totally okay with him being like, look, it's a lost season. They're not making the wild card.
It's not like he hired him for the future. He's an interim head coach for the back half of the season.
Exactly.
Who gives a fuck?
Let's give him an opportunity because he's Jeff fucking Saturday. Let's bring him in because he's gonna be a good locker room culture guy. He knows the Colts locker room.
Yeah,
so
he'll get on better with those guys.
Exactly, and he's trying to have people happy for the rest of this season, so that there's still a quality team. There's just a couple of fixes needing to be made, instead of a full-on people quitting, blow up, injuries, yada yada yada. So I genuinely, I had to sit on it for a couple of days. I'm actually kind of mad at Jeff Saturday because I almost lost my fantasy game because of you dickhead by putting in fucking Matt Ryan last minute. I put in Sam Ehlinger because I had Joe Burrow on a bye week and I didn't draft another quarterback because why would I draft another quarterback? I got Joe fucking Burrow. So literally, I go into the waiver wire and the 4 quarterbacks who are available are Malik Willis,
nice,
Sam Ehlinger,
nice,
Matt Stafford who has a concussion, and Zach Wilson who's on a bye, and I'm literally like, all right, well, I picked up Matt Stafford, waited on the news all week, found out that wasn't going to happen. So I bring in Sam Ehlinger because I'm like, dude, I'm okay with losing this week. My entire team's on a bye. I'm the guy who drafts 4 Bengals. So,
at least 4 Bengals in every league.
I have 5 right now because I traded for Mixon. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take my loss. I'll take the L. And
just like the Bengals do when they play.
We're over 500. Genuinely, put in Sam Ehlinger. I'm like, give me 10 points, Sam. Give me 10 points. Maybe we can pull it off with a couple of the guys we got on our roster. We're playing a bad team in Chase. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. I look at my fucking score fucking halfway through the day, and I'm like, this motherfucker benched Ehlinger. And I'm like, I don't know if it was an injury.
Never even started him.
It never even started him. So yeah, he brought in Matt Ryan for no fucking reason other than he's a guy's guy. And you know what?
Well, also that locker room was pissed off that they benched him at all.
Absolutely.
So he did what he was supposed to do.
Granted, absolutely.
But overall, I think we can
I'm
move
almost
on from
done.
these guys.
I'll wrap this up. Fuck you, Jeff Saturday. However, you know what? I understand exactly why you are where you're at. I love that you got a win a week after you roasted the Raiders on Twitter. That is hilarious. How often is that going to happen? never.
I wish he
again.
would have gone to the podium afterwards and been like, God, they suck.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. But no, I understand the move that Irsay made by bringing him in. I sat on it for a couple of days after the news. I had talked to a couple of friends, made jokes about it. It's really not the craziest thing to ever happen.
The jokes are easy to make, and again, it's like, dude, nobody's keeping their job after this year there. They're going to clean house.
Yep.
Didn't matter who they hire.
Yep. Ballard's probably gone. I'd say.
Which, by the way, I need to give myself a little pat on the back here. I said it before the year to watch out for the Colts because those guys, if it didn't work, they brought in a whole bunch of weird, risky pieces and hot seats. Called it.
There's plenty to be happy about with the roster, but there's too much to be upset about. And so, yeah, it's going to be, Jeff Saturday is going to have a great opportunity to potentially be an offensive line coach after this year because he's proven,
The Colts O-line played the best they played all year this week.
Yep. So, incredibly fascinating how that works when you bring in a guy like Jeff. So, yeah, you know what? I'm not super upset about it. I think it's actually pretty interesting. And finally, winning cures all. So, I think you don't hear a lot more jokes coming.
Speaking of who's not winning, the Raiders, it's rough.
We didn't even talk about the Raiders because the fucking Colts have been such a dumpster fire.
It's rough. It's not good. There's nothing else to say about it. They're a huge disappointment this year. I don't know what they do. I would probably give McDaniels another year because I'm just of the mindset that you give every coach at least 2. But
might as well. And Mark Davis already said he likes him.
And it's also just like a lot of the stuff that they inherit in the first year is not of their choice and like not of their doing and not their guys. So I would say you keep McDaniel. If you're in a high enough position, I would say you probably draft Bryce Young or CJ Stroud if you're going to just stay at 2. But yeah, that's sort of where I sit on Vegas. It's the last year. It's not going anywhere. But I'd say you keep Josh McDaniels just because on principle I say you keep guys 2 years.
I think the Josh McDaniels hire has been a mess, and I'll just make it quick as to why I think why. A good coach finds ways to build his scheme around his best players. This seems like Josh McDaniels has not learned at all.
Who are his best players?
Devontae Adams.
He's been going for like 150 every week right now.
And they're losing.
Yeah, I know, but who else is healthy? Renfro and Waller are out. Their O-line's abysmal.
Well, here's what I'm saying. It feels like you've got Derek Carr playing in a way Derek Carr doesn't play usually. You've got him playing almost not in a Brady way because Brady's good.
Because Brady's good at this.
Derek Carr is not the analytical type. Derek Carr is not the quarterback who's going to read the defense, find the open man, and dissect a really good defense by having an incredibly smart brain. Derek Carr's a little bit of a gunslinger. Derek Carr's not, I'm not going to say he's going to yas it all the way down the field constantly, but Derek Carr is a scrappy kind of guy who makes plays, and when you see Derek Carr making plays against the Chiefs this past recent years, before it's always been this. You always count Derek Carr out, and he plays great. Mm-hmm. And I think the way that they're having him play quarterback is what is driving this down because there are, I'm not saying Devontae Adams is falling off by any means. He's not having as stellar of a year. But there are moments where he literally has 2 targets in a game.
Yep.
And I think that's a little bit based on the offensive game plan being brought in by Las Vegas. I don't know why Josh Jacobs can have an incredible week one week and then not be used the next week. It baffles me. So that's kind of where I come to this mentality of, okay, everybody else is hurt and that O-line's abysmal, but Josh Jacobs is still able to make a 3-touchdown game happen, even if it is against the Texans.
He won't be consistent against any competent team with that line and no one else besides Devontae Adams. And not to mention, a lot of the times they're just going down fast. And then the run game's useless.
That's not true because they've literally been...
No, they've lost a lot of games by blowing leads. But,
exactly.
I mean, the Raiders before the year had 2 terminal problems. That O-line and that secondary.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying that they should be 7-2.
Like, there's a lot of people who love to bring up that they made the playoffs last year. There's a reason everyone was shocked they did it.
Yes.
And it's because, especially in Week 17, the Chargers are a better team than them, but they managed to win it, so great. Nobody actually thought the Raiders, deserved to be there.
Yeah.
So anybody that's like, oh, they were a playoff team. Dude, they managed to somehow luck and back their way into that. That was not some product of the Raiders all of a sudden coming on and being awesome.
The AFC was genuinely pretty weak last year.
Yeah. So it's that's why everyone's like, oh, it's so shocking that they've taken steps backwards, though. It's like they didn't really improve that much other than you bring in a wide receiver and one edge defender, and those were two positions where you already weren't weak.
Yeah.
And all the other weak spots stayed really weak. So, I don't know. I think you give every coach 2 years, especially when they come in to inherit a situation where two of the most important units on a football field in today's NFL are abysmal, and you don't have a ton of cap space, and basically all the draft picks of the last 4 years are trash, other than Max Crosby. But it's they released last year's first-round pick this offseason. They released Leatherwood. It's yeah, okay, great. So this really did not go well.
No.
I think that our expectations of the Raiders were too high.
And completely understandable. Self-inflicted.
Some of it is the blowing the leads thing is.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's some positives to take away from that.
This could very well be a 5-4 team or 5 team.
But I also think that really, if you think about it, also the two things you need to be good at to put away leads is being able to run the ball and grind people out, which is largely on your O-line, and stop people from passing on you, which is your secondary.
Yeah,
so it's just I don't know. I think that there are some positive signs that the Raiders are able to do it at all and get ahead. But I just think that their weaknesses are two of the most essential things in the modern NFL.
Fair.
The Rams can't win without an O-line. What the hell are the Raiders going to do?
That's fair, but when you're in a position where you had Devontae Adams, you're telling me you really can't get a first down twice.
I didn't say it's good, but I'm just saying
strictly the blown leads thing. I will say is when you're up by multiple scores.
Yeah,
it's not blown leads as in 3 points going into the fourth or 7 points.
It's 17-0.
It's 17. It's 20 points. That's a sign of organizational failure. Because especially when I totally understand two signs of putting away a good team are having a defense and having a run game. But you got Devontae Adams. You're telling me Devontae Adams can't run a quick 10-yard route and have Derek Carr throw him a ball, get a first down, and keep the drive going?
Aaron Rodgers couldn't always do it.
He was MVP 2 years in a row, so yes, he could.
They didn't put away anybody in important moments.
That important moments is one thing. 3 regular season losses against terrible teams.
All I'm saying is the Raiders are just not loaded up enough, and then you add injuries to their other top 2 weapons, and it's okay, they're not going to be good.
I'm not asking them to be good. I'm just saying if you're good enough to go up 20 points, finish the damn game. I'm not.
Fair enough.
If those are your 3 wins of the season, fine. Totally understand.
No, fair enough.
I'm just saying you were up 25.
I'm just saying you can't fire the guy you brought in because the issues of the last regime didn't get fixed in one offseason.
And fair, I'm not saying that he needs to be outed right now. I'm just saying that me personally, I cut the leash very quickly, mostly because there's probably some guys coming out who are going to be very helpful. To helping building that regime.
There's only one first-year coach who I'm willing to fire right now.
Hackett.
Yeah.
That's
it's the only one.
Yeah, this
Everybody else, again, it all comes down to this for me. The issues that the last regime caused are huge problems still. They are still showing enough skill that they're able to get out on people to some level. They just can't close. Okay, fine. Not great. But I think that as you continue to improve that team, some of that stuff comes and goes. And
all I'm asking is to see Josh McDaniels grow. I have not seen any growth.
All right, fair enough.
That's all.
I don't want to talk about the Raiders or the Colts anymore.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's crazy how we could literally talk about Minnesota and Buffalo, 2 teams at the peaks of what they're doing, minus a couple injuries on Buffalo's side. And we have less of a conversation
because it was almost more. It's almost more expected to see those 2 teams have an epic game, though. Yeah. And some of it's just some of that stuff. There's not even anything to take away from it. It's just crazy. Holy shit!
I get frustrated with bad football and watching Indy. With a first-year high school coach beat.
I also kind of enjoy the bad teams because I really enjoy like the mental exercise of how do you fix them. So I think that's part of why I like talking about some of these bottom feeders or like the flawed teams. Because the other ones, it's like, yeah, okay, cool, they're awesome. When they lose, it's generally some weird shit.
Yeah.
But with these other ones, it's like, how do you fix it? What's wrong with them? Stuff like that. So I think, at least from my perspective, I like the puzzle of where do you start with them. So.
Infinitely more fun to start a franchise and blow up a bad team.
Exactly.
Than pick the Tom Brady led Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs.
Exactly.
And just go win with them.
I mean, unless you want to be really like cool and be like, okay, what would another team trade me for Patrick Mahomes?
See, those what if moments are interesting.
Yeah.
I will give you that. But I mean, like, just logging into a Chiefs roster and be like,
no, I get what you mean.
I'm going to load up this team even more. Just keep winning. It's like, dope. Like,
yeah, no.
That's a lot of fun.
I get what you mean.
Like,
when I'm starting a franchise, I'm like, I'm going to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, exactly.
So moving on, though. Dallas at Green Bay. Dallas 28, Green Bay 31. Green Bay won in overtime. This is a game where legitimately it is so inexplicable what the hell happened. I have no idea what happened here.
Yeah.
This is such a weird game. And like I said, if they played 9 more times, I will pick Dallas the next 9 times.
Yeah.
They just didn't get off rushing the passer as well, and this is the one week where one of those rookie receivers decided to make a few big plays.
Ball out, yeah.
I don't think it happens next week. I don't think it happens really any other time this year. It just happened this week, so.
Yeah, I think, just an interesting game. Again, when it comes down
Explain to me how that happened.
No, I as I kept watching, there were multiple times where I'm like, yeah, no, Cowboys are going to win. And then I would
I felt so confident.
because of red zone again or something like that, and then I come back in and I'd be like, Cowboys are still going to win. And then... unbelievable how it goes down. And then there was a moment where I was like, yeah, Green Bay is going to find a way to win.
I felt the exact same way about the Bills game.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I felt so confident until literally the last second where I was like, oh, fuck me.
Yep. Yep.
But, yeah, there is no reason on earth that this should have happened. But it did. So.
And that's football, baby. Yeah, I think you can never really count out Aaron Rodgers. That's something that we're always going to say when Green Bay pulls off an upset win when they look bad. You can never count out Aaron Rodgers.
I'll count him out this Thursday still.
I think you can count him out, but you can always, like, if he pulls off the win, you can't sit here and be like, that's completely unexpected.
You know what? Is there an element to this, sort of in, like, San Fran and the Rams type of way, of does Green Bay just have some weird understanding of the Cowboys?
I think it is
like
one of those
I think that's one of the things you might be able to point to is like, does Green Bay just for whatever reason just get Dallas?
I think Cowboys get eaten by Green Bay, and Green Bay gets eaten by San Fran.
And we also eat the Rams.
And you threw in the Rams, sure, why not?
Because I just like reminding little brother.
Okay.
That they get dogged on for the most part. You got one, congrats. But other than that, literally for the last 6 years...
They got one and it led to a ring. So.
Yeah, great. Chumps, you're going to miss the playoffs this year. That whole Super Bowl is filled with pretenders.
They still got the ring.
Great, get it, keep it. Kiss my ass.
It's tough to argue with that.
It's not.
A
dead clock is right twice a day. Great, you got one.
A dead clock winning a Super Bowl is... not something that happens twice a day.
Happened once.
Happened one time.
Yeah, and there it is. Not gonna happen twice. Eat shit.
Ugh.
But no, Green Bay fucking hates us.
It's a very interesting whole process.
Yeah.
Of
I think
because and the funniest part was I knew Green Bay was gonna win, deep down in my soul when I saw a commercial for the game, where it was like. History between these teams, and it showed the Dez caught it moment, and then it showed the Mason Crosby field goal from that playoff game.
I still think.
And I was like, well, that's a completely different conversation. I believe he caught it.
I thought he caught it. He was diving with it.
It was dumb as hell. The NFL catch rules never been consistent.
No,
we know this.
But no, you're so right in terms of the history between these two.
The second I saw him, the history between these two is Dallas losing to Green Bay, either off of bullshit or unable to get it done. Yeah. And so I was literally like, when you show commercial like that, I don't see rivalry. I see, it's gonna happen again.
Yeah.
And guess you fucking nailed it. All you had to do was show me the fucking trailer. It's the same thing of the second I was watching the Monday Night Football game, I was hanging out with a couple of my friends. I was sitting at their place, watching the game day hype up for Eagles and Commanders. And in my brain, I just helped them cook up a bunch of parlays and a bunch of bets that were mainly Eagles focused.
Nice job.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like,
costing your friends money.
I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I was like,
I gotta go, boys.
I was like, guys, I'm out. Like, because genuinely,
you can thank me later.
I saw the trailer pop up, and the way I felt, I don't know if it's psychic, I don't know if it's just intuition, I don't know if I was just drinking too much.
So I think that's called drunk.
Yeah, but genuinely, I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? That's a Commanders dub right there, but we'll get there.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the only thing I can point to for this type of thing where it's like maybe Green Bay just, for whatever reason, they just
have Dallas figured out, and especially when it's Mike McCarthy, like it almost feels too good to be true.
Yeah. So that's all I have for that, though. Green Bay won. I think they're going to lose on Thursday, but it's cool. I'm not that worried about Dallas.
No, I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Yeah. All right. Arizona at the Rams. Arizona 27, Rams 17. Speaking of the chumps.
Hey, you got your backup quarterback in. What more?
They're bad already.
And no O-line.
Yeah, they're bad already.
And Cooper Kupp gets injured.
That was at the very end of the game.
Yes, but now it's just, all right, Rams. Like, what are you?
I'm just
take the year off. We'll see you next.
I'm too busy dancing on their graves. They're not going to be good again next year either.
Well, I said we'll see them next year. They're cooked this year. At least there'll be optimism next year for them. Not for me personally, but yeah, I think Arizona. It's interesting that Kyler Murray's able to get a win right before Warzone drops.
Kyler Murray didn't play.
Oh, that's right.
It's Colt McCoy.
I forgot. It was the battle of the backups.
Yeah.
So, man, what am I even saying?
No, Kyler was already on Call of Duty.
I love that Kyler took the week off to play Modern Warfare 2.
It's a hamstring injury. He was too busy running to buy that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure, bro. Sure.
He picked a bad week.
Yeah, the memes do not help. Like, I know he probably got injured and was like, fuck.
He's like, God damn it.
But, like, oh, yeah. And then, of course, Warzone drops tomorrow. So it's just too good of a meme because he's going to miss next week, too, because of hamstring injury.
The memes came out. Kyler Murray out Call of Duty.
Yeah, Kyler Murray out Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I think it's hilarious.
But, yeah, no, seriously. But, like, seriously,
yeah.
This is why I don't give the Rams too much credit for, like, the backup quarterback thing. Cardinals had the same damn thing.
And they almost put up 30.
Yeah, don't give me that shit. The Rams are bad.
Colt McCoy, I gotta give Colt McCoy some credit. I'm not sitting here saying he's a starting quarterback in the league, but he finds a way to just be on your TV on Sundays sometimes. And you're just like, oh, this guy. You're like,
you're still here?
He's like, he's still fucking here. Like, no, I gotta give him credit for being a Drew Stanton level fucking backup where it's just he somehow ends up being on your TV on Sundays and you're just like, I forgot this guy fucking existed again.
It's fair. But no, like I said, I'm just enjoying the validation of the Rams.
Sure. Good news is Bengals are going to make playoffs and we'll be alright. We should have won last year. Anyways.
Like I said, I said it like right after the Super Bowl. I said it before the season. I was like, both those teams were very lucky to get to where they got, and they won't get even close again this year. And so far, I'm just doing a little happy dance about that take. And
whatever.
Much to your chagrin.
Whatever.
I mean, I enjoy popping into Rams fan pages.
Do you? Are you that guy?
Yeah. I just drop in.
Why am I not surprised?
I just drop in there and say my piece. I don't even respond to them. I just piss them off and leave. And then I just see my last time I did it, I had like 250 reactions to it.
God, that is genuinely fun.
I enjoy it so much.
I'm not even surprised. Like I should have guessed that would be you. Just doing your shit talking.
Oh God!
Go ahead and let's move on. Talk about your team.
It brings me so much life. Sunday Night Football. The Chargers at the 49ers. 49ers win 22-16. Nailed it. Called this one. Chargers, they're not doing so great health-wise. We knocked some more people out in that game, too. And I thought we were going to win no matter what, so it was cool. It was pretty much what I thought was going to happen. Chargers never step up in these types of moments. And
And I got
allow
Sunday Night
me.
Football this week too.
I think we're Monday.
No, Chargers have Sunday Night Football.
Oh yeah, we're Monday. So 2 primetime games for us in a row
Okay.
and the Chargers. Yeah, Chargers got the Chiefs next week, which yikes. Especially if they're
We'll
not
see.
healthy.
Oh, sorry, footsie.
You don't act like that was an accident. No, 49ers did pretty much what they were supposed to do. All 3 of our defensive stars played well, with Bosa getting sacks and ton of pressures, Fred Warner flying around like a missile, and then Hufanga with the game-sealing pick. You'll love to see it. And we're closing in on Seattle again. We're just 1 game back of them. We still have another game with them coming up.
Ooh,
We got-
lose that game.
We
huh?
won't.
You will be sweating.
I won't be
Think about
because I
that
think we'll already be ahead of them.
green jersey.
I ain't worried about a damn thing with them. We beat the shit out of them already
Big
once this year.
1-2 on it.
Yeah,
Oof.
we're gonna get you a nice number 3 jersey.
I cannot wait to see that.
How dare you? I'm so nice to you.
Oh.
I'm so supportive of you.
Oh, you're fantastic.
Yeah.
You're such a great friend.
Yeah, I'm a peach. I'm great. No, overall, this game sort of it went as expected. We got a win against a team that we should beat. We got the Cardinals next week. I expect us to beat them too.
Especially if Kyler's
Playing in
more
Mexico City. We're playing in Mexico City too, though, so that could get a little dicey. We'll see.
that field is not good at all.
And it's even higher altitude than Denver. So we'll see. I think we'll beat them, but anything can happen.
Sure.
My biggest takeaway from this game is everyone are pussies for ejecting Dre Greenlaw. That was such bullshit. That was such a that pissed me off. And
I saw your Snapchat.
and I like the Chargers and all that.
Like, ooh, can't wait for this one.
But in that moment, I'm like, God, I wish we would have just had the decency to knock Herbert out if you're gonna eject us for it. Like, that's how I feel every time they want to get pissy about a bullshit flag. I'm like, God, I wish we would have just managed to fucking hurt the guy then. Like every time, whether it be like illegal contact, unnecessary roughness.
You'd rather be.
I
justifiable.
wish that we would just hurt you then. If you're gonna flag us, fine. I hope that we like cracked your ribs again.
What did Herbo do?
He was
Herbo
just in the
didn't do
wrong
anything.
place at the wrong time.
It was not Herbo's fault.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Herbo didn't throw the flag.
Don't run if you don't want to get hit, bitch.
Oh my god.
That wasn't even a fucking penalty.
Herbo didn't throw the flag.
If that was a running back, do you think that flag even gets called?
No.
Okay, great.
It's a dumb.
He didn't protect himself.
It's a dumb rule. You get hit as a quarterback when you're running. That everybody knows it.
He didn't give himself up.
Lamar gets hit. Cam Newton got hit.
Yeah.
Justin Fields gets hit.
Yeah.
It is a normal thing. If you're not giving yourself up, you are going to get hit.
That was such bullshit. Listen, what can I say? Chargers are a soft fucking franchise. They would all bitch about it. I would love it if the Chargers sideline was like, we're going to go out and fight the 49ers about it. Your whole sideline could come out and our 11 guys on defense would send you fuckers screaming back to Southern California.
Whoa, leave SoCal out of this.
No, fuck that.
Leave SoCal out of this.
In this battle, this is relevant.
No.
Fuckers.
I didn't do anything.
We beat all the California teams this year, by the way, so Kings of CA.
And you're behind Seattle still. Fantastic.
Yeah, they played easy fucking teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We already whipped their ass once this year.
Gino's coming back.
Yeah? Bring it on, bitch.
with
Let's
Drew
go.
Lock.
Yeah? I would love to see Drew Lock come into that fucking game and just fucking demolish you. Do you want to know what my worst case scenario is? Is if the one game Drew Lock plays this year is the last game against us and he somehow wins.
Smokes you.
I don't think he'd smoke us, but because really, there's only one team that smoked us, and it was while we were still fucking decimated by injuries and ran into Kansas City.
If Drew Lock comes in and beats you week fucking 12, you're getting a Drew Lock.
I'm gonna get
Seattle
sick.
Jersey.
I'll
You're getting
be-
a Drew Lock Seattle jersey, and you have to stand up on camera and
I'll
say,
be sick.
Drew Lock is a viable quarterback in this league.
I will agree to that if you agree to get a Russell Wilson jersey.
Absolutely. I'd much rather burn my house.
Okay, then
down
eat shit
be
and die. I'm
homeless.
not doing that. But no, Chargers are a soft fucking franchise, and you get hit one goddamn time legally. You're a fucking runner who didn't give himself up. You're not defenseless.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, like I said, I wish we would have had the decency to just fucking knock him out or something. Such bullshit. Listen, they're fucking...
This guy.
This is such bullshit. This is why people make fun of the NFL for being soft sometimes. It's like, shut up. Ejecting him? Really?
He's still going.
It's stupid. It's so dumb. Like, even the ref consultants on the thing were like, you can't eject him. You can barely even throw that flag.
It's too late.
Yeah, it is. And guess what? We still fucking handed you an L. Take that shit,
yeah,
fucking assholes.
A win's a win.
Bitch-ass Chargers. Bitch-ass Charger fans. You all deserve each other, a bunch of fucking bottom-feeder, habitually underperforming bastards.
He's practicing that one.
Yeah. Maybe they should practice winning a goddamn football
He
game.
was standing in front of the mirror practicing this entire rant, just ready to go for today. I guarantee it.
I've just been seething.
I know.
It's
I know. I
so.
saw the
It's
Snapchat
just stupid.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna hear about this one.
Yeah, you are fucking bullshit.
All right.
They don't like people. They don't like getting hit out there. Fucking pussies.
Jesus. Have you gotten your piece out? Are we
Sure.
ready to move on?
Happily.
Okay. Really quickly. Chargers. I don't know if they make playoffs. Genuinely, I think it's at this point where they are the team that kind of drops in this AFC race. We'll see. We got Herbert versus Joe Burrow coming up very soon. That'll be a good proof of practice right there. But yeah, San Francisco within one game of Seattle, coming a little bit closer on me losing that bet. Well, me losing the bet is Bengals miss playoffs. Let's keep that in mind. But
You ultimately winning the bet though is if you make it and we lose. That is your ultimate.
that is
victory.
I need to make playoffs and I need Seattle to beat me in the division.
Just like my ultimate victory is we win the division and make the playoffs and you miss entirely.
Of course, yeah. I'm not trying to sit here and share my misery with you. I want you to have all of it. So
I'm glad we feel the same way about each other on this one.
that's just normal. That's normal.
I so hope that we both don't get out of it. I think you're gonna look good in that ugly golden
Oh, the
mustard.
Oh,
It's either
Dijon.
that or fucking Russell Wilson.
I'd much rather take the mustard. But genuinely, yeah, I think I don't know. We'll see. We'll see for sure. But San Francisco with another win, and Seattle lost one. So
Tough teams beat soft teams. Last take on that. Moving on.
well said.
Washington at Philadelphia. In a miracle of miracles, Washington 32, Philadelphia 21. As I said in my predictions video, Philly was just sort of bound to drop one at some point. Every team's done it. I didn't think Washington would be the one, but hey, good on them. I mean,
It's
again,
so
I
tough.
think this is less a product of Washington doing a damn thing and more a product of just Philly had their day. So
I will say it again. I say it almost every week when this happens. Division rivalry games can never be overlooked, and I don't care if
it's
it's
so weird.
I don't care if it's the shitty ass Commanders, or if it's the shitty ass fucking Cleveland Browns in my position, or it's backup quarterback for Arizona situation. You can never overlook a division rivalry game because one of those teams, if you don't want it as bad as the team that is the underdog in that game, there's a good chance that you are screwing yourself over. I will say this Philadelphia game was more like a Madden game where when you're playing in a franchise and Madden just refuses to let anything go right and you lose that game, that is more of what this is like than Philly showing up and just playing like shit. Genuinely, there were moments the entire game where I was like, you know what, Philadelphia has a chance to win this. They're going to wake up. They're going to get this right. I will give credit to Washington because they had to have put themselves in a position to be up and win that game at the end when they were able to get that touchdown off that terrible lateral. But yeah, it is just so tough to go undefeated in the NFL these days. I mean, you are just so tired. So I can only imagine what they're going through right now. It's just the division rivalry games, man. They'll cash you. They'll get you with those trap games, and this is absolutely one of them.
Well,
XFL quarterback takes it.
The story of this game is that really the Eagles turned the ball over 3 times all year.
Yeah.
And then yesterday turned the ball over 4 times. That's really all.
Tough.
That's really all it was.
It's tough to win when you're turning the ball over like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, and now, I think Philadelphia is going to bounce back pretty fucking strong against the Colts next week.
I think they'll be okay.
I don't worry much about it. I mean, Jeff Saturday, only undefeated coach of the league. So something to think about.
That's true. It is a heartwarming story.
If they beat the Eagles, oh my god!
If they beat the Eagles, is Jeff Saturday the coach next year?
I'm kind of rooting for it if he wins Coach of the Year this year. Could you imagine the comeback kid? Let's go!
Now I want that.
I know, wouldn't it be
Now
awesome?
I really want to put money down.
Colts win out.
Colts went out, make playoffs, lose, but Jeff Saturday
Coach of the
comes
Year.
in off of a high school fucking bench, fucking wins.
There you go.
Man, the odds on that must be fucking astronomical.
Yeah, no, throw $1 down and you'll win like $1 billion.
Yeah, I might be down.
But
$10 down, fuck it.
yeah, no. Again, I don't take away too much from this. I view this more as just Philly had their day.
It's just a bad day in the office.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
has
mean,
one.
every other team's done it. We've afforded the Chiefs, the Bills, all these other teams that just have had off days or weird days. We've afforded them that. Eagles deserve it too. They just had a weird day against a team that they're clearly better than, and shit just happened. Is what it is.
It's a. I know that's not how Philly wanted this season to go, is losing a game like that in that fashion. But you know what? You guys are gonna be fine. You're probably still gonna be the number 1 seed in the NFC, assuming Minnesota.
This is when it gets interesting, though. That's where it gets interesting.
It
Is the
now
Vikings?
officially interesting?
Yeah, the Vikings can absolutely strike at that.
It
Who do the
is-
Vikings play next week?
It is now within striking distance for sure.
The Vikings play Dallas.
Ooh.
I kind of think Dallas will get them. Dallas has a chance to help them out right here, but we'll see. This will be the first time in a long time the Eagles have rooted for the Cowboys.
That's true. That's true. Who are the and Eagles are playing Colts, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
that's. Hey, we said this one was a slam dunk, so who knows anymore. But genuinely, yeah, I think Philly's going to be fine. The race for the NFC first seed is now a little bit tighter, but it's still Philly with the grip on it for now. Up to you guys to either keep it or lose it. So
Yeah.
I'm not super worried about it.
No. And then last thing before we go today, I'm still going to do a really in-depth version of my picks, but I just want your quick fire 'em off picks for the weekend.
Okay.
So we're going to start Thursday night, Tennessee at Green Bay.
I'll go Tennessee.
Okay. Chicago at Atlanta. That's an fuck game, isn't it? You know what, dude? I'm gonna go ahead and say that Atlanta's defense isn't good, and Chicago will score 30. So I'm gonna say Chicago gets them.
Yeah, I'll give it to Chicago, even though I hate Justin Fields.
Cleveland at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Philly at Indy. Oh, don't.
I want to root.
Do you want to
be?
be? Okay, there's a difference between rooting for it and what you think will
That's
happen.
what I'm saying. Is I want to root for it, but Philly gets it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jets, Pats. Another weird one. I'm saying.
Jets already lost to the Pats.
Yep.
right?
So I'm saying Jets get them. I say
go
they
Jets.
split.
They split. Yeah. They go split.
Rams, Saints. Battle of the what the? Okay. Which Saints team is showing up?
I go New Orleans.
I'm picking them because they're in New Orleans.
I go in New Orleans. I think New Orleans defense can take advantage of a terrible line.
Yep.
I think you get Stafford back, but Stafford doesn't like throwing to anybody but Cup, and Cup's not there.
Cup's
so.
on IR now, so
Yeah, so I genuinely think New Orleans gets
Yep.
it. They don't even know who's starting next week, though, so that's a bold pick.
Jameis is coming in to just be like, let's go.
Either Jameis comes back or Andy Dalton has a good game.
All right, fair enough.
I don't even know.
Detroit Giants.
Giants.
Yeah. I'd love if the Lions could do it, but it's going to be the Giants, I think. Carolina, Baltimore.
I obviously want
I know what you
Carolina,
want, but there are long odds.
I don't know. Steve Wilkes seems to be a monster.
Against Atlanta.
Yeah, Baltimore takes that one.
Washington, Houston. I mean,
Washington.
I'll see.
I go Washington because I think Houston's trying to lose at this point.
Battle of shit, like literal shit. Vegas, Denver. I don't even know who wants to.
Vegas already won.
Yeah, but I think that they've gone steadily downhill.
I'm gonna go Vegas again.
All right, fair enough.
Because Vegas just seems to figure out Denver every year.
I don't even know if that's
every
what
year
it is.
Happens.
Maybe, who knows? Dallas Vikings. This is a hugely important game. This might be the most important game of the week.
This feels like a game that Minnesota would lose.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's
I feel
what
like
I'm
they're
thinking.
coming off such a high.
I'll go Dallas. I'll say fuck it. I usually go with the safer pick, which would I think would be Minnesota. I think Dallas gets picked.
This is my upset alert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Cincy Pittsburgh.
Cincy.
Just pick the Steelers. I already know you want to.
Yeah, of course. That flag looks so beautiful.
Yeah, Chiefs Chargers.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
mean,
go
we all
Chiefs.
know what we want, but
I want Chargers because I think Herbert deserves it, especially after the last game where they played. But they're too battered and bruised at this point. It doesn't
49ers.
look like the same team.
there you go. 49ers, Arizona.
Yeah, 49ers.
You want to know what the good news is? Because Seattle hits their bye week this week. We win this week. We're on top of the NFC West because we have the tiebreaker over them.
Yeah, and I
Don't be so.
As much as I'd love to be petty and still pick Arizona, I don't think Arizona wins this. Even
Yeah.
if Kyler's back from his hamstring.
If we win this week and are on top of the NFC West, I am going to breathe such a sigh of relief.
I would love you guys to drop this.
Why do you have to do that?
I would love you.
What's
guys to
wrong with
drop this
you?
one.
I haven't even picked the Bengals.
I would love you to drop this one.
What did I do to you?
Everything.
No, I didn't.
Absolutely. You brought up the Russell Wilson.
You try to
thing,
include
me.
people in your life. It's like,
Oh, okay.
like
But yeah.
pulling teeth with you.
Yeah, that's kind of what my personality's like.
Fair enough. Yeah, and the team's on the bye week: Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle, Tampa Bay. I'll miss watching the Dolphins play. All the other ones can sort of fuck off.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville, but I got ETN in 2 leagues. So
There you go.
that's what I'm missing is running back production.
So those are the quick fire picks. I'll go more in depth on these games tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a good night. Peace.